My name is Swati Chopra, and I am a Director of Customer Success at McAfee. Today I'm going to talk about pillars of customer success. But before we go there, I just wanted to give you a brief intro on myself. So I'm a global customer success leader. I also advise certain companies on how to develop their customer success, how to transform it. And I'm also an investor in new startups. I'm a Wharton MBA and I have over 16 years of experience working with different technology companies like Cisco, SonicWall, McAfee. Here's my LinkedIn address in case you would want to connect with me. So please feel free to join me there on LinkedIn and I will be happy to help you guys. I have helped organizations to build and deliver customer success and the best service experiences throughout my career. So today I'm going to show you how to build your own customer success function from scratch, or if you already have a customer success function, how to transform it so that you can have the retention rates in high 90s. Every organization today that we have seen, whether it's a large organization, it's a mid-tier, or it's a small organization, they're all trying to set up a customer success function to ensure customer retention. Then why do we see that certain organizations are excelling in this area and they have a huge customer loyalty, while there are certain other organizations which are failing tremendously to provide any value to their customers? So in this session, I will discuss with you key foundational pillars that when we implement in any organization, in any industry, you can ensure that you are delivering a very high level of customer success, you're turning around your customer success function, and that is leading to high customer retention, high product sat, and high CSAT. So let's get into it. But before that, let's look at this organization. And tell me if you figure out which company is this. This company has 1.7 trillion valuation. It has a 98% average retention rate, and it has 126 million customers. So with such huge number of customers, they still have 98% of average retention rate. I'm sure some of you might have guessed, but this company is Amazon. If you've guessed it right, congratulations to you. So what is it that Amazon is doing that is giving it such high level of loyalty with its customers? Even though they have so many customers, they still have 98% of retention rate. To understand this, let's see what is Jeff Bezos' philosophy. This is a quote that you might have come across time and again from Jeff Bezos. He's always said, we are not competitor obsessed, we are customer obsessed. So the second richest man on this earth, he has a golden rule of customer obsession. And that has served him really, really well. When Amazon was listed in 1997, the stock price was $18. And if I remember, recently the stock price has now gone up to $3,200 or something. And that's the power of customer success. That's where we see when we work extra hard to make our customers successful, that's when we become successful as a company. So let's look at how we can truly transform our customers' experience. Throughout my learning phase, I have always seen there are three pillars that work the most, no matter which industry you are, no matter where you are in your customer success lifecycle. If you implement these three, you are sure to have a success with your customers. And those three pillars are product, people, and I will dig deep into each one of these so we can look at how we can define each and every one of these pillars. So let's look at the first pillar, which is your product. So your product is always a customer success plan that you are delivering to your customers. So what is the customer success plan that you are delivering? Whenever you develop a customer success plan, you have to be very sure that it fits like a glove to your customers. And since there is not a single size that fits all, so there could not be a single customer success plan that works for all your customers or that works for different industries. So to define what is the customer success plan that is right for your customers, you need to understand your customers. You need to understand what is the size of the customer, what are the needs of the customer, what are the requirements of the customer. To define that, there are three things that you should definitely be doing if you have to define that customer success plan. So the first thing that you should be doing is segmentation of your customers, right? So every business, you have certain level of high tier customers. What I mean by high tier customers are the customers who are bringing probably about 85% of your revenue, but they are top 5 or 10% of your customers, right? So look at those customers, which are the customers that are bringing your 85% of revenue and which are only a very small quantity of customers. Then your next segmentation would be your mid-tier customers. Your mid-tier customers are the customers who are bringing about 10% of your revenue, and they are again about probably 10% of your customer base as well. And then you have the low tier customers. These are huge customers. They're bringing about 5 to 10% of your revenue, but they're about 80% of your customers, right? So that's how you go from high, mid to low. Your high customers are small number of customers. Mid tiers are more than your high tier customers, and low tier are your general customers. They are huge in number. They're not bringing a lot much in terms of dollars. Now, the requirements and needs when you look at these customers are also very different. Your high tier customers may have a very complex environment. They may have different data centers, right? They may have different geographical offices that they need to connect together. Your mid-tier customers may have a very general sense of business. They may not be that complex, but they still need a lot of attention. And low tier customers are basic, small tier customers. They don't need a lot of hand holding. They don't have a lot of resources at their end also to maintain their setup. So it's a very, very basic level of service that they would probably need. Now, once you have segmented your customers, the next step would be to define the product features. What kind of features you want to include within your customer success plans. And don't get confused about the product here with the product of the company, because what I am talking about as a product here is a customer success plan, right? If you are in a large company, you would definitely have product managers who will be defining your product, your customer success plans. If not, then you as an owner of a customer success organization can also go ahead and define those, right? So product here means your customer success plans. So what do we include in that? The first thing definitely should be a customer success manager, a person who's acting as an advisor for your customer, right? Person who can do the project management for them, who is proactive. So you need to have a customer success manager. The next thing is you want to see how big is an account, what are their requirements. You also need an advanced technical support, right? Another head, because this account is probably too big, this customer is too big, and they need assistance from more than one person. The next thing is, do you require consulting services to be added in your customer success plan? Now, if it's a low tier customer, I would not want to add a lot of consulting services because they may not have that big of a setup. But if it's a large tier customer, I would want to have some professional services vouchers to be added in that customer success plan. Do I want to add any education vouchers in that? Obviously, if it's a large customer, I would definitely want to add more education vouchers as compared to a small tier customer where I would add probably minimal education vouchers because they may not have so many admins at their side. Right? Then what about the business reviews? Do we want to do business reviews every quarter? I would definitely want to look at my high tier customers. Do they need a quarterly business review? Then for my mid tier, let's say we can do a business review twice in a year. And then with my low tier, we can do a business review once in a year, right? So you can define based on when you segment your customers, what are their needs and what would work out best for them. Then architecture reviews. Do we want to do health watches for them? Obviously, if there is a complex setup, then yes, we would want to do an architecture review and see that all their setup is done properly, their configs are done properly, they have implemented the product that you're selling properly. Right, then upgrade assistance. Do they need upgrade assistance? And if you have sold them, a big package of products, are they all compatible during that upgrade cycle? So if it's a large customer and you have sold them multi-million dollars of products, obviously you would want to provide that upgrade assistance to them. So these are some of the features that you would see generally in a customer success plan. How much and when to provide that feature in which success plan is something you need to define based on how your customers are segmented, right? So in the product, the first thing is you segment your customers, and the second thing is you define what product features are to be delivered in each and every segment of those customers. And then last piece is obviously about pricing, right? So for your top tier customers, you're giving them a white glove treatment. So that would be a very highly priced success plan, right? And as you go down the pyramid, the price goes down. And it is very, very closely related to how many features you are providing and what is your cost, right? If I am providing a technical resource and a customer success manager to my top tier customers, obviously the price goes high because the cost is higher. Then on the mid tier, you provide less number of features. Let's say you're providing less number of professional services hours, you're providing less number of education vouchers, you're providing less number of business reviews that are done on site. So your cost goes down and then the pricing goes down. And similarly, when you are providing basic services to your low tier customers, the price is lowest for that, right? So these are the basic services that any customer would need to help them to be successful. So that's our first pillar, product. And to define the product, you always do the segmentation, you define the features, and then you do the pricing of the product. And that's how you define the customer success plan. That works well for your customers. And I'll give you an example here. Once I was in a company and they had 7 different customer success plans, and there were some customer success plans that were not used at all, that were not purchased by any customer, and there were some that were extensively purchased by the customers. Now, why did that happen? Because probably they didn't do the right segmentation, they didn't look at what are the things that customers need, and they didn't build the plans based on the customers. Right, so always make sure you start with the customer and then you build your customer success plans. So once your product is defined, then the next thing is about people, right? It's very easy to learn the pillars. They all start with a P. So you've defined the product. Now the second thing is about the people. So in people, what I mean is your customer success managers, right? What are the kind of people that you need to hire as your customer success managers? These are the people who are not only, savvy customer support personals, but they are also working as a trusted advisor for your customer. They are proactive. They can understand well in advance what the customer's goals are. They're working with the customer to make sure the customer is successful. They are able to achieve their goals that they want to achieve with your products. And your customer success manager is very much instrumental in getting your customer successful, right? So here's a very very refined saying that I heard from Maya Angelou long time back. And what it says is people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Right. And it's very, very true, because I'll give you an example here from my own personal life. There was a time and I ordered something from Amazon. I'm sure all of us have ordered something from Amazon, and I'm a big fan of Amazon's customer obsession philosophy. So I ordered something. It was not a big thing, but it didn't turn out to be what I expected. I had to return it, and I kept on procrastinating it. And then there was a time when I realized I have to return it, and I was already past the 30-day cycle. So I pick up the phone, I call up Amazon, and I'm telling this support personnel that I'm sorry, this is completely my fault. I know I'm over the time limit, but can I still return it? And I was ready, to hear, oh no, we can't return it because you're over 30 days. But this person apologized to me first and said, I'm so sorry that you did not like the product. And I completely understand we get busy these days. So you know what? I will refund the money. Why don't you keep the product? And we'll move on from here. And I was in awe. I mean, it wasn't a big product, but the way that person made me feel, I still remember that experience. I don't remember the product even now, what it was, what I purchased, but I do remember how that person took care of my concern. And that's how you need to make sure that you have the customer success managers who understand the concerns of your customers, who are working as a trusted advisor, who are making sure that the customers are successful. And and unless they are making the customer successful, you cannot be successful as an organization. And there is a pathway that definitely each and every customer success manager can follow. And that's what we call a customer success life cycle. So how does it look like? So in a customer success life cycle, a CSM has to make sure that they're doing a proper onboarding for the customer, that they are setting up a meeting with internal and external stakeholders as soon as a contract is signed. They understand what is it that the customers really want to accomplish with the product. What are their success goals? They need to also make the customer understand what they have purchased as part of the customer success plan, right? So when you have a very strong onboarding, after that, the customer success manager has a very clear idea about what is it that the customer is trying to do with the device or the product that you have sold, right? The next step would be adoption of that product. How the CSM gets the professional services involved to get the implementation done so the customer can actually adopt the product, consume the product, and not just the product, but also all the different features that you have offered to them as part of your customer success plan, be it education, be it professional services, be it business reviews. Make sure that the customer is consuming all of that. So once the customer is at a place where they are well settled with the product, they are consuming all parts of the customer success plan, the next step is they are in that happy state where you can reap the referrals out of them, right? They can refer you to other customers, they can give you testimonials. And from there on, retention becomes super easy for your sales team or your customer success team, because the customer is already in that happy state. They have achieved their success goals working with your customer success manager. So retention is easy. And then the last stage is obviously expansion, where you can upsell and cross-sell the products to the customer, right? So this is the journey that is very important. And if the CSM is not able to do any single part of this journey, then that impacts the overall customer experience. Again, this is a very good quote that I heard from Paul Phillip. And it just talks about, how a poor onboarding experience is hard to come back from. And it is the fastest way to lose a customer, because that's the point where you are building the relationship with the customer, right? So it is critical to actively think about the entire customer journey from start to end. So you need to define it, map it, and document it. You start with onboarding, you end with expansion, and then the loop goes back on again and again, right? So that's our second pillar. So we start with a product, we go to the people, and then the last pillar for me is platform. What is the platform that you're offering to your CS team so that they are efficient and they are enabled to deliver an exceptional experience to your customer? Again, I'm big on examples, and this also always reminds me, and whenever I'm telling my team about, the power of platform, be it any platform, you can have Gainsight or you can build your internal platform, but you need to have a platform which really works well for your CS team. And let me share this example about my own life experience. So when I was a kid, I was probably about 9 or 10 years old, and there was a time that I had a disagreement with my mom, and I decided, okay, I will cook my own food. I still don't know why I would think that way, but I wanted to cook my own food. I didn't want to eat the food that she prepared, so I thought, okay, let me start with kneading the dough that is required to make Indian rotis. So I start kneading the dough, and it becomes so what happened was, as I was adding more water and dry flour into it, sometimes it would become too loose, and then I would add more flour, and then it would become too thick, and then I would add more water, and this continued, adding water, adding more flour. This continued for 2 hours. And finally, I did, uh, got to have a really good dough needed, but it was a 2 hour cycle. I was very happy, but I had spent a lot of time on that, right? And what do I do these days? I have a food processor. I put 2 cups of flour in it, and I put 1 cup of water, and within less than a minute, my dough is prepared, right? It's kneaded, it's perfect, and it's done in less than a minute. That's the power of using the right tool for the right work, right? I can still knead the dough myself, but I can't do it in less than a minute, right? It will still not be up to a perfection level because I'll keep on adding one or the other thing to get it to that perfection level. So it will require more time. That's why we need the right platform for the team. Okay, and what are the features that you're looking for to have the right platform? So first of all, ease of use, right? It should not be complex. It should be very easy for your customer success team to use. Then it should track all the key deliverables that your CS team is offering as part of that customer success plan. What are the KPIs that they are delivering? Is it business reviews? Then they should be recorded here. Is it getting the feedback from the customer? That feedback should be recorded here. Is it about the consumption of the product? So the product utilization can be recorded here. So all the key deliverables should be recorded at one place. And then there should be consistency. That means if they are building the customer success plans, you should have similar templates that your entire team can follow, right? So that each and every CSM is not delivering a different service to different customers. They should be consistent. Reporting, the internal and external reporting takes a lot of time, and you need to have this tool which is helping your customers, your customer success managers to report internally and externally what are the key parameters of that particular customer that you have, right? So it should provide you easy reporting mechanism. Consolidation of your entire customer data, how many licenses you might have sold or how many products you might have sold, what are the versions of those products, what are the release notes that you have sent them, what is their upgrade cycle, what is their consumption level, what is their consulting services consumption, what is their education consumption. Every data point is consolidated at one place. And once you do all of that, obviously it saves time for your customer success managers, right? So be very sure that you evaluate all the platforms, see which platform actually gives your CSMs all the things in one place so that they can focus more on the customers rather than, manually adding that data into spreadsheets or different places for the customer. So once you have all these pillars defined, right, they come together to actually give an extraordinary experience to your customers. You have the product, you have the people, you have the platform, all in one cycle together, and that's when your CSMs are able to give that exceptional experience to the customers, make sure the customers are successful in their business goals, and that leads to overall high retention for you and high referral rate by your customers. So I'm pretty sure that you might have learned something here. And if you have any questions, always feel free to get back to me. We will also have a Q&A at the end. But I wanted to leave you guys with this note. That is very resounding to me at all times from Steve Jobs. He's always said, get closer than ever to your customers. So close, in fact, that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves. And I can't impress it more than this, that your CSMs need to be proactive. They need to know what their customers need before the customers know about that. All right. So thank you for listening to me. I enjoyed this session. Here are my details of my LinkedIn account. Feel free to connect with me, and let's take it over on the Q&A now. Thank you.